Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm coming at you with another game review. Alright, hold on a sec here. Alright, this is my review of Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2, and I believe this game's also for the GameCube as well. But I have the PS2 version. So yeah. Wow, Ultimate Spider-Man. Honestly, this is probably my second favorite Spider-Man game. Absolutely love this game, and the thing is, it doesn't take place in the Amazing Spider-Man universe. It takes place in the universe of the Spider-Man Unlimited comics. Alright, although I don't know why it's called Spider-Man Unlimited, it's called Ultimate Spider-Man, but whatever. Basically, you actually get to play as both Spider-Man and Venom in this game. Basically, the plot is that Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, well, at the beginning, he confronts Venom. Basically, Eddie Brock is... I've never read the Spider-Man comic. The Spider-Man Unlimited comics, that is. So I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm just going to take his word for it. Eddie Brock was a friend from college of Peter Parker's, and they reunite at the beginning of the game, and Eddie shows shows Peter something that their fathers were working on, because their fathers were working, I believe, for Trask Industries, or maybe it was some other company. No, I think it was some other company, and they signed this thing over to Trask Industries by accident. And they're working on the Venom suit. Basically, it was supposed to be a suit that was supposed to cure cancer. By the way, in the comments below, please tell me if this actually is accurate. This is actually pretty neat. It was supposed to cure cancer, and if it worked, they would mass produce it, and they would have essentially made billions, because they would have discovered and mass produced a cure for cancer. Alright. However, they ended up accidentally signing it over to Trask Industries, basically bombarding their plan. Not to mention, it was a malfunction. I mean, the fact that it was a malfunction, first off, and they ended up accidentally signing it over to Trask Industries, and Trask is a corrupt bastard, of course. You know. Greedy, corrupt bastard, you know, this generic corporation leader. So, and that basically starts it out. Then Peter ends up using it because he wants to set things right, and of course the Venom suit ends up liking him so much he ends up going crazy. So he ends up taking it off, and he laments that I don't know what that thing was or what it wanted with me, but I have super spider powers and I couldn't control it, so I don't think anyone could ever hope to. But then of course Eddie Brock finds out what he did and who he really was. And he got angry, so he decided to use it for himself, and thus becoming Venom, and thus becoming an enemy. So, yeah, and that is Ultimate Spider-Man in a nutshell. The plot of Ultimate Spider-Man in a nutshell. I'm just gonna read the back here real quick. It's a really fun game. Be legendary, be predatory, be both. Swing to the rescue as Spider-Man, then blaze a path of destruction as Venom. Play both sides in the most groundbreaking Spider-Man experience ever. Explore an expanded free-roaming environment that includes Queens, New York, and the 3 islands you're going to actually explore in this game are Queens, Manhattan, one of these was at a 3rd island, but I don't remember, honestly. Unleash your fury as the villainous Venom. Encounter more Spider-Man characters than ever before. Original story and character illustrations by comic book writers Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. Huh, I thought Stan Lee had taken writing and illustrate, or at least writing all of the iterations of Spider-Man comics. I guess not. So yeah. So basically, the game starts out with as a boss fight with Venom, and then it's a pretty lengthy one, but in the end Venom escapes, and of course Mary Jane's in this too, alright? And there's lots of different villains in here, the Spider-Man Unlimited versions of them. So you have Venom, which I think is pretty much the same in all versions. Then you have the Ultimate Shocker, who's a pussy in comparison to the amazing shocker. Like, seriously, you just defeat him with your fucking webs. Seriously? That's a complaint I have about this game with him that I'll get into later on. You have the Ultimate Green Goblin, which is basically a giant Hulk. Like, he looks like to be at least taller than the Hulk, although about as muscular. With flame powers, I guess that's the Ultimate Hulk, apparently. And, who else? I know there's others. You have the Ultimate Rhino, which is basically just a gigantic fucking, rhinoceros suit with a tiny little midget nerd inside controlling him. Really? Good God. And also another boss thing you fight if you, like 2 or 3 times would be a Silver Sable from S.H.I.E.L.D., even though she's not really an enemy. She's an enemy of Venom, and one of the times you fight her, actually 1 or 2 of the times you fight her as Venom. But she's not really an enemy to Peter, even though you do fight her once as Peter. She ends up being an ally at the end. But you also have the Ultimate Electro. Actually, I think there was a version of Electro in the Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know for a fact though, but I'm pretty sure. So I'll just say the Ultimate Electro, who you end up fighting different bosses as different people. Like the Ultimate Goblin, Ultimate Shocker, and Ultimate Rhino, you end up fighting as Peter, or Spider-Man rather. The Ultimate Electro, you end up fighting as Venom, and the Silver Sable, you end up fighting as both of them at certain times. There's also a Ultimate Beetle, which you end up fighting as both of them actually. The first time as Peter or Spider-Man, and the second and last time as Venom, in which you end up killing him. And of course, Venom himself is a boss too. So, and I mean that in both ways. And yeah, I'm sure there are others. There might rather be others that I forgot about because I haven't played this game in a long time actually. Yeah, but basically they tried to throw in here all sorts of different villains, you know, and I think that worked out really well. Of course, 2 complaints I have, like I mentioned before, is, you know, Shocker's way too fucking easy, and the revelation behind the Rhino I thought was so fucking retarded, honestly. I did not like that at all. Alright? Just saying. So those are 2 of my complaints. But it's really fun to go around as Spider-Man, alright? You can go to each story mission, alright, or there's an abundance of side missions, which come in the form of combat tours, which you activate one and you have to go through the, like, several different areas and defeat enemies in order to complete it. There's also, you know, petty crimes as well. And there's also races throughout the city that have like a bronze, silver, and gold, and then like an ultimate time, which is like a fucking ridiculous, insane, mad time. I don't see how any fucking human ever could complete it. Alright, and I never have, obviously, since I'm saying that. So yeah. And when you play as Venom, well, throughout the course of the game, it's just in random missions, and you can do nothing else but complete the missions. As Venom, though, your health slowly depletes, so you actually have to feed on enemies. Feed the life force right out of, well, enemies too, or regular people, to feed the life force right out of them, to regain your health. However, it will not work on bosses. They'll bust right out. I also forgot to mention one, the Wolverine is actually in here. You end up fighting him not too far into the game, actually, as Venom. Alright. So yeah, but basically his attacks basically consist of his claws and tentacles, and he can also jump really fucking high. Alright, however, when you beat the game, there'll be an option at the pause menu to play as Venom. Here, this is actually pretty cool, because first off, you'll get an abundance of races anyway that you can complete with Venom, which is actually pretty cool. But also, when you cause carnage by like throwing vehicles on and feeding on people, you'll actually get the police after you. If you do it, and you'll gain points for doing all this shit too. Well, once you keep doing that for long enough, which now will include killing enemies, of course, you'll keep getting more points, but eventually a shield will come after you, which, yes, the shield is a big part of this game too, by the way. And also, and eventually, they'll just send in all forces, and it'll be an all-out balls to the wall, you know. I forget what my highest score was. I remember way back when I did get a fucking huge-ass high score. I forget what it was, though. So, yeah. And that's actually pretty cool. I don't think you get anything for getting a specific high score, but, you know, it's still really fun. And of course, at the very end, Venom actually doesn't, like Venom escapes. They don't cure Eddie Brock or kill Eddie Brock or anything. He escapes. I guess trying to set up for a sequel, but I don't think a sequel to this game was ever made, though. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. I'm gonna have to, anyways, after the recording of this video, to check up on to find out the year that it, oh, the TV series too. Okay. To check out the year that it was released, as well as all the consoles it was on. Ultimate Spider-Man video game. How about that? Apparently there was a DS version and a Game Boy Advance version. Wow. Oh, here's a list of the bosses. Venom, Shocker, Wolverine, Rhino, Electro, Beetle, Silver Sable, Green Goblin. Oh, and also Carnage. Yes, that's something I should mention. I completely forgot about that. Towards the end of the game, Peter Parker is captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. And I believe the guy who later on in the continuity of the series went on to becoming the Vulture, although he doesn't in this game though, actually does test on him with Venom's DNA, and he ends up temporarily turning him into Carnage, and you have to fight Carnage as Venom. Completely forgot about that. And of course afterwards Peter turns back and there's no permanent effects, but yeah, but it's also because of that Eddie Brock ends up getting complete and total control over the Venom suit, because he did not have that in the throughout the course of the game. So yeah. Doesn't look like there's any sort of sequel for this game, though. Oh well, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the game. I think it's really fun. I mentioned two complaints which has to do with two of the bosses, but another complaint I have is actually in terms of Spider-Man gameplay. For the most part, it actually is really fun, but the swinging is kind of annoying, because it's really difficult for me to like get high up in the air and actually stay there swinging through the city, and it just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. All right, and I felt that could have worked out so much better. All right. Kind of like Spider-Man 2, I guess you could say, maybe, or something similar at least. When was this game released again? 2000, well, yeah, 2005, some countries 2006, but basically 2005 in North America, which I believe was made, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, this game was released after the Spider-Man 2, based on the movie, obviously. So yeah. Anyways, overall, my rating for this game is going to be a 7.6 out of 10, because I did have problems with the game. It's not perfect, obviously, but I still think it's a pretty great game that you should definitely check out if you're a Spider-Man fan, like I am. So yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, loving it. So anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.